you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and Track Racer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
You went, you served, and forged the relationships that only being baptized in the fire of combat can develop. At FallInVeteran.com, we understand the unique bond that veterans share. That's why we've created a platform where you can connect, share experiences, and build lifelong friendships with fellow veterans. Signing up is easy. Simply visit www.fall-in-veteran.com and create your profile. Customize it to reflect your military service, interests, and hobbies. FallInVeteran.com is more than just an online community. It's a support network where you can find resources, advice, and encouragement from those who understand what you've been through. Whether you're looking for camaraderie, mentorship, or simply a place to share your stories, FallInVeteran.com has it all. Join thousands of veterans who have already found their tribe and start connecting today. FallInVeteran.com. Come join us and experience the power of community. Sign up now at www.fall-in-veteran.com.
Good evening and welcome to round 8 at Chicagoland of the Oz Oval V8 Supercars Oval Racing Series, brought to you by Everything Simulated, Inside Lane Productions, and streaming through Quasi Esports exclusively on YouTube. And as I said, this is round 8, and everything is heating up pretty well in the championship. And in the booth tonight, Kobe Jordan pushing the buttons in the productions, and myself, and we've got a guest in the broadcast booth. I'm very happy to have him on board. Good day to Aidan Schulz. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good evening to you, Steve. Happy to be here tonight. Round 8 at Chicagoland for the V8 Supercar Oval Series. Excited to see that. Unfortunately, I'd much rather be behind the wheel, but last week didn't go too well, but we're 2 minutes 20 into the warm-up, so 2 minutes 20 left into the warm-up. But great to be here, Steve, and Chicagoland, a great track in the United States, and 150 miles, 1.5 mile over track. So go through all the configuration of the track tonight. But great to be here, mate. Absolutely great to be here. This is going to create some great racing in the supercar around Chicagoland.
Well, we had some great racing here before. This was actually a track we used for one of our 2 recruitment races pre-season. And just to give everybody a bit of a hint as to who to keep an eye on tonight, the top 10 for that race were Craig Roffey. Well, obviously second place was yourself, so you're not out there, but Rick Vincent, Kate Donnelly, Don Gilbert, Gary Wellman, Greg Sholton, Jamie Nankervis, Jared Williams, Nigel Payton, and Troy Davidson was 11th. So that gives you a pretty good idea who to watch for tonight. A couple of those guys are not here, and some of them are definitely here. Obviously, the Sim Boys and the Rogue Motorsport team are here tonight, Aidan.
Yeah, look, tonight it's totally different. Well, not totally different to what we've seen. Chicagoland, a very open track. It's going to be a mid to high type of run with the way that these cars drive. You can go low and get a good lap time, but as it goes on, you're going to want to sort of go mid to high and use that slipstream. So we're going to see a couple over 100, as we see there, a little bit of a tag there with the Sim Boys, but you're going to see over plus 100 laps here. It's not going to be one in the first 20 or 30. You just need to get yourself set and ready to go. And it looks like the cars are very loose tonight as well through mid-corner and entry. So that's going to be very interesting here to see how the boys go. But it's all about setting yourself up for the final 10. Who's going to be there? Who's going to be able to set themselves up for the final 10? That's going to be the interesting part. Hopefully, Cade Donnelly doesn't want to have that happen through his race tonight, as well as the other Sim Boys, as well as we see 3 Sim Boys on the inside. But it's all about all setting yourself up to the back end of the race as we go through to the standings of the championship so far. So currently we've got Gary Wellman on 250 points, Craig Roffey on 239, Jamie Nankervis in 3rd place with 218, Adam Malone on 202, and Troy Davidson on 186, Steve.
Yeah, straight after that, you've got Angie J. Barber on 180, Troy Mortensen 168, Tristan Koch 161, Tony Roffey on 154, and rounding out the top 10 in the championship, Peter Matson on 139 points. So it's still anybody's game, with about 5 rounds left to go after this one. But we've got a run of 1.5 mile tracks from this point on, Aidan. There's about 4 of them in a row. So we go here, we've got Las Vegas, Kentucky and Kansas, as well as I think Nashville Super Speedway, before we finish up at Talladega in round 13.
Yeah, 1.5 mile ovals will definitely sort the men out from the boys, as they say. But we are on board with Andy Barber now into the qualifying session. So at the moment, Steve, practice out the window. We're into qualifying. We're about to see who takes the grid or who leads the grid here for the next round of the Oz Oval Series. But Andy Barber in the whiskey car coming across the line. We'll see how he goes. Now, he might be taking the green, and And he goes across. So 31.528. Troy Davidson in P number 1. You only get one choice, one chance, Steve, as well in this series. You just get one shot to be able to get up the top. So at the moment, we've got another Simboys car coming across, and that would be Gary Wellman, 31.579 into the 4th position. But Steve, one lap shootout here in qualifying. It's a good concept that you brought into the series.
Yeah, it keeps it a little more real, and the boys get the intensity of that qualifying lap rather than, having those 2 laps to play with. Also, because of the changing conditions at each track each week, the one flying lap means you've got to be on the ball. This one, they're probably a little loose. As you mentioned earlier, the cars seem very loose out on track in warm-up, and that would be probably because of the time of day. It's quite warm out there, I would imagine. We are sitting around about lunchtime here at Chicagoland, so the temperature's going to be up a little bit, and it'll get warmer as the afternoon goes on, Aiden.
Yeah, looks like that might be Pete Matson in the 173 that we're on now. I'm just taking a guess because of his livery as he goes across the start-finish line now, and we'll see where he ends up. And that is P8 with a 31.670 for Pete Matson. On the Rogue, this is a Roffy. Obviously, that's a Roffy with the Rogue, so we'll see how that goes as he goes down the back straight. Only 2 minutes left into qualifying. It's currently Donnelly, Davidson, Roffy, Barber, Wellman, Roffy. So it's a Roffy show in the top 10 at the moment. Matson, Maxfield, and Schmidt in the top 10 as we are on board with the number 40. No idea because I don't have live timing. Troy Turner at
40.
the moment as he comes along and comes through the start-finish line. But Donnelly, Davison, Roffy, and Barbie are 5 here, Steve. It's definitely going to be a great race. Have a look at those times at the top. Only 1/10 of a second between the first 7.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. That blue car we looked at before was number 94, Rick Vincent for the Rogue team, and he was actually last week's winner at. And I've gone completely blank on where we were last week. Auto Club, sorry. Yeah, we were at Auto Club, and Rick Vincent actually won that one. So he'll be hoping to try and repeat that and get another good fistful of points for the championship.
100%, but at the moment we've got Kay Donnelly on the pole with a 31.434. Troy Davidson, 31.446. How close can you get with Roffy, 31.446 as well? Dead heat for second and third with a 31.515 from Roffy. Barber, a 31.528 to round out your 5. 6th position at the moment, 31.544 and a 31.579 from Wellman, but we've got another car out on track at the moment with only 27 seconds to go. Shannon Wright, looks like that's all done for him as well. So have a look at those times, Steve. We're looking at a 1/10 of a second between 1st and 7th, and we haven't even gone racing yet.
And which is always welcome. We've got some new guys in, so we've got some unknown factors, a few dark horses here. Alex Schmidt, Troy Turner, a couple of other guys as well who are just having their first round of the championship tonight, Aiden. So that's it for qualifying. We are done and dusted, and while the boys grid up, we're going to take a quick ad break. We'll be back in a moment with your grid. Stick around.
Here we are for the Oz Oval Series here from Chicagoland. We're ready to go, and here is your grid for this round. We got Cade Donnelly in the 41 off the pole with Troy Davidson in the 23 teammates out of P number 2. P number 3 tonight, it's the Roffey show with Roffey, Craig Roffey and Tony Roffey in P number 3 and 4 on the second row. In the third row tonight, Andy Barber and Rick Vincent in the 94. We got Gary Wellman and Shane Roffey out of 7th and 8th, and we got Matson and Todd Maxfield out of the 10 as we go across to Steve as you bring us through the next 10.
Yeah, Alex Schmidt, one of the newcomers to the series on row 6 alongside James Oliver. Great to see James back this week, and I'll promise to get his name right. Phil Butler and Noddy Tompkins off row 7. Row 8 is Troy Turner, another newbie, and Tristan Koch. Row 9, Jamie Nankervis and Scott Lefebvre. Row 10 will be Paul Ardrady and Jared Williams from the Everything Simulated team.
And Shannon Wright in the 023 out of the 21st position with Derek Jacobs out of the United States of America in the 22nd position. Matthew Raymond, he'll be there, Mr. Sheen and Mr. Melton in the 49. We're about to go green here, Steve, for the next round of the Oz Oval Series here from Chicagoland. It will be Cade Donnelly off the pole with Troy Davidson. We go green here for the next round of the Oz Oval Series. But as we just settle in here, Steve, there's a long way to go as we go into 1 and 2. And these guys are going to want to settle in and try and... Davo's been already around.
Yeah, we've got one of Tony Roffey, I think, into the back of Troy Davidson there in the 23 Simboys car. And we are under caution already. We've got a wreck on the course.
Yeah, Davo's not going to be happy with that. That is a night almost over for Troy Davidson as we go back to the ISCA replay here. As we go through, Troy Davidson with a really, really good qualifying position up in the top 3. He gets a bit loose there through turns number 1 and 2, and the car behind, nowhere really to go, and just tags him. And yeah, unfortunate there from Troy Davidson. A lot of other cars got caught up in that as well.
Well, Peter Matson got caught up in that one because he had nowhere to go as Troy Davidson came across the front of him, and he ended up across the front of Todd Maxfield.
Yeah, I think the boys need to know there's 100 laps to go. But this is coming from me, but unfortunate.
Well, as you said, Aidan, there was really nowhere for Tony Roffey to go. I mean, Troy obviously got a little bit loose and out of shape there. And they were actually building up to speed and getting something happening. And Tony Roffey just had nowhere to go but to give a little tap on the rear bar of Troy Davidson. And he was already out of control and a bit loose, but that just finished him off.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Unfortunate there on the first couple of laps or first 2 laps to get involved in that type of stuff. But you know who this helps is Cade Donnelly, Gary Wellman, Rich Vincent, and Noddy Tompkins up into P4, doing a great job as well. So they'll all reset. Unfortunate there to have an incident. That's oval racing, but we'll go back racing very shortly. 3 out of 100 for everything simulated here on the streams of the Quasi Esports Network. But it is currently Donnelly, Wellman, Vincent, Tompkins, Turner and Roffey is 6. Big incident there, Steve. I wasn't expecting that. Have a look at that there with the 173 car. Have a look at the damage on that. The 23 of Davidson, he's got a lot of damage as well. So they're going to spend a lot of time through pit lane as we see the 83 now come through pit lane and try and probably top up on a little bit of fuel, and the 015 doing the same thing.
Yeah, Peter Matson will be absolutely shattered having that happen at the start of the race when he really was absolutely just nothing but collateral damage in that. He was nowhere near the accident. And unfortunately, when Troy Davidson got turned, Matson just had to be Johnny on the spot and had nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's the nature of sim racing, mate, unfortunately, or nature of racing in general. Nowhere to go, but the guys racing really, really hard at the front, and this is what this series does actually involve. And that's what happens, and we see that with different penalties and everything going on. But everyone wants to beat everyone. But 2 laps in, you see, they're trying to race really, really hard, and these guys race against each other every day or every week, week in, week out. They know how each other races, and they know what they do. So they're going to be here, and they're going to try and fight. Unfortunately, 4 laps into 100, a little bit too early for that type of stuff. But I'm not one to say anything, but we're about to see how we go. But Donnelly, Wellman, Vincent and Tompkins, we're about to see who's going to get the run. I think lap 4 into 100 here, mate. Long way to go. Hopefully we get a good long green flag run so we can see what these guys do on a long green flag run. It is Wellman, Donnelly, Wellman, Vincent, Tompkins, Roffey, Turner as we go to the green right now. So second time green tonight, and it is Donnelly off the front with Wellman on the outside. Vincent, Tompkins and Roffey in behind. Hopefully they're just going to settle in now and try and get into the mode. As you see, Kay Donnelly taking that really tight line down on the inside. I'll guarantee you'll see his lane change as we get on into this race. But we've gone clean, and Wellman now wants to have a shot at this race, and he's gone, Donnelly, I'm going to see you, and I'm going to go past. But Noddy Tompkins in the SRM car is right up there as well. But Steve, mate, these guys, I thought they'd settle in. Nah, they're not doing it.
No, they're not taking it easy. The nerves will probably go, back off a bit. There's always a certain amount of nerves for waiting for that first caution to happen. And the man who would have breathed the biggest sigh of relief in all that would have been Kate Donnelly, because he was actually involved in an early one last week, and I think one in the first couple of cautions the week before. And he'd be very happy to escape completely free of any damage in that and be at the pointy end as Tompkins into the wall.
In the fence in a big way, Noddy Tompkins. That's going to hurt him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much damage he's copped out of that, Aiden. He's not slowing down at all, but it was a big hit.
We'll go back to the ICA replay and have a look what happened with Noddy Tompkins. As he come out of 1 or 2 here, he's actually, 3 and 4 rather, going into 1 and 2 in the SRM livery, the Mitre 10 backed. He just goes straight up into the wall, and then he goes through 1 and 2. Looking okay as well, so it's actually not too bad. He just had a bit of a glance on the entry, so that might not be too bad for Mr. Noddy Tompkins, but we'll see how he goes.
I don't know what Rick Vincent was actually saying in the car then, but he would have been very happy to see that he wasn't there, because right before that happened, Rick Vincent was on the outside exactly where Noddy Tompkins went to hit the wall.
Yeah, and have a look at this. Noddy Tompkins fighting for the lead now. Sorry to cut over you there, Steve. Noddy Tompkins fighting for the lead with Gary Wellman. So from the man that went into the wall, he's now fighting for the lead of the Mo race.
Yeah, obviously he hasn't suffered any damage that's hurt anything. Usually a hit like that, I would assume he'd have wheel damage and all sorts of things going on, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him as he takes the inside line and takes that lead away from Gary Wellman.
Yeah, great job there for Noddy Tompkins, but it is a Simboys 2, 3, 4 in behind, so have a look out for those guys. They are great at those at this race. Go back to a replay.
Got a bit of a replay here. It looks like Troy Turner in the 46 car. No, it's... just trying to pick which car that is. Actually, it's...
We'll go back to the race and have a look at who's leading at the moment. That instant replay wasn't good, but we'll go back to the race. And Noddy Tompkins, Craig Roffey, Gary Wellman. Oh, big crash into the outside wall.
Craig Roffey into Noddy Tompkins. And they still keep going, but we're under caution.
I'll let you take over, Steve. I feel like I've been talking too much, but
there has been another incident there involving James Oliver. We're going to take a look at that now. Now, trying to figure out what's happened to James Oliver here. He's moved down in between. I think that's one of the road cars. And, Todd Maxfield into James Oliver. Not sure whether James moved up a little on Todd, but Todd's given him a tag on the right rear and spun him into the wall, and looks like Maxfield's car is an absolute wreck. No, it looks like Maxfield's moved down on Oliver, and Oliver spun around into the wall and lost the nose off his car. Maxfield's car is, it's a mess. It's might be night over for him, as we see Peter Matson still sitting in the pits there trying to get some repairs done. On lap 12 of 100, and we see Wellman and Donnelly there at the front, and they are going to take the chance to pit, and in behind them, Andy Barber in the Creek Water Whiskey car, number 20.
Yeah, Wellman, Donnelly, and Vincent and Barber in your top 3 or 4. Unfortunate incident there. You see a lot of stricken cars there through pit lane, as you can see there, trying to take a lot of damage. I'm actually really surprised, Steve, at Chicagoland that we have this much this much incidents, because it's not really that type of track that you can do that. So a lot of the guys racing really hard tonight, and we're only 13 laps in. We've had 3 cautions, so the guys should probably really get their stuff together and try and just navigate their way around and try and get in. But it's interesting to see around Chicagoland, whereas we go to Daytona or Talladega, we can understand that, but 3 cautions in 13 laps, it's a little bit different.
To be honest, if I didn't know better, I'd say that they were driving as though they were on a super speedway. They're really just pushing it hard, and the result is that we're on our 3rd caution in 13 laps already. The conditions, maybe the cars are a little bit loose, I don't know, but the simple fact is, for those who are not used to watching V8 supercars on ovals, who watch a lot of NASCAR, these cars are a lot easier to upset than a truck or an Xfinity or even an next-gen Gen 7 car. They do get out of shape a little more easily. They get damaged a little more easily. And this is the result, with the guys racing very hard here at the moment, as we look at that number 114 car, which is... I'm just trying to spot who that is. Oh, that, of course, would be... I think that's Christopher Melton. Oh, it's Alex Schmidt, sorry. I knew it was one of the new guys. At this point, you've got Rick Vincent out the front for Rogue. And then you've got Gary Wellman and Troy Davidson in behind him, Andy Barber. And I can see Alex Schmidt, Tony Roffey, and Shane Roffey. So all these cautions are doing basically at the moment, Aidan, is just mixing the field up each time that happens.
Yeah, 100%. And that's just cautions breed cautions. So we'll see how we go, 14 into 100. I hope these guys can get their stuff together and just try and run some clean laps, and we can see how the strategy and everything happens. But at the moment at Chicagoland, I don't think that it is going to happen in that regard, the way that we've seen this go at the moment. But Rick Vincent will be off the pole on the restart with Wellman, Donnelly, Barber and Roffey, your 5, and Shane Roffey on the outside in P number 6 as they go across the start-finish line this time. There'll be one more lap until we go green here for the Oz Oval Series with that shot there of, I don't know whose crutch that was, but great shot there. But one more lap to go as we go green here for the 3rd time of asking. And Wellman, Vincent, Donnelly, Barber, Roffey, and Roffey will be your 6. Turner, Raymond, Kosh, and another Roffey will be your 10 with 15 out of 100 to go. So a long time to go, Steve. It's still early doors. It feels like we've been racing forever, but it's 15 laps into 100 here for the Everything Simulated Oz Oval Series round here from Chicagoland. But it will be Vincent and Wellman off the front row. Steve, I'll let you take them to the green and we'll go racing again. But mate, it's been 3 cautions. It feels like it's been forever, but hopefully these guys have got their stuff together and we're ready to go.
Well, Rick Vincent will actually have control of the field as we go across the stripe here, and the truck will pull off in just a moment, that pace truck, and as soon as that pulls off, control drops to the lead car, which is Rick Vincent, the number 94 Rogue Sport Mustang, and Gary Wellman goes with him. Rick gets a pretty decent start. Gary Wellman goes with him. Troy Davidson gets a pretty reasonable start and drops in, on the outside in behind Gary Wellman, and behind them Andy Barber in the number 20 Creek Water Whiskey car. You've got Shane Roffey in behind him, Tony Roffey, and then Craig Roffey. So it's a Rogue Motorsport blitz here at the moment. You've got two sim boys and about 3 or 4 road cars, and Wellman drops all the way down to the apron over that white line, which they're entitled to do. And the rule for this is the white line through the tri-oval. You can actually drop below that to race, but once it actually becomes a yellow line, you cannot actually use the apron to race for advantage. So they're only allowed to go through there through the tri-oval, as Gary Wellman leads this one from Rick Vincent, and Andy Barber up to third.
Yeah, and just to jump in there, Steve, have a look out for Andy Barber there in the third position, as you can see him there on your screens in behind Cade Donnelly. He's doing a great job at the moment as they go through turn number 1 and 2. He's positioning his car in a really, really good position. He's doing a great job. So we saw the cars wiggling there on exit and getting a little bit of oversteer, but see how he's driving his car in a little bit, sort of not narrow, a little bit wider, and using the exit speed and trying to utilize the cars around. You're going to see the car on the inside of Vincent try and make a move on Barber, but he's okay with that. He's just going to sit on the outside, see there, and he's just going to utilize that mid-corner speed and then utilize the draft on the exit, and that's where he gets the draft there up into P number 2. So he doesn't need to drop down onto the bottom line as the moment as he does, and he wants to take the lead of this motor race over Gary Wellman. So he does want to, but see how Gary gets that gain on the back end of the outside of turn number 3 and 4. So you can see what I said there. He needs to sit on that mid to outside line, because if you want to push through the mid corner, you're not getting the run off. So these guys need to work really well together at the moment. 20 into 100. Doesn't look like Andy wants to do that. He wants to take the lead of the motor race at the moment as he goes into turn number 3 and 4. But Andy Barber, at the moment, he's trying to get the lead off 3 and 4, but that exit off 3 and 4 on every corner of Gary Wellman, at the moment, you can see the difference there. So if Andy just drifts up and utilises Gary's speed, this is allowing Cade Donnelly to get back into this fight as well.
Yeah, those two battling almost side by side like that is doing a lot for Cade Donnelly, because he's in a win-win position there at the moment, sitting right in behind them, and he's actually got a gap back to, I think it's Rick Vincent in 4th. So he's got a bit of breathing space at the moment, Aidan.
Thanks, mate, but a lot can happen in this series, 22 into 100. So 22 laps into 100. Cade Donnelly on the outside there, getting a good run around the outside, trying to get a little bit of assistance there on Gary Wellman, but Andy Barber says nope. I'm going to jump up in behind you, and Andy's probably listened to what I'm saying on the broadcast and probably sitting up through the mid-track. But these guys at the front, Wellman, Barber and Donnelly, doing a great job. Vincent in behind, he's stalking as well. The Roffies, don't write off them. 3 Roffies in a row. Shane, I don't even know all the Roffies, to be honest. Roffie 1, 2 and 3, could we say? But can we say Matthew Raymond as well, mate? Matty Ray, Mr. Sheen, he's there in the SRM car. Have a look at him in the fluoro car in the background. He'll be there or thereabout. But at the moment, Andy Barber's now taken the lead over Wellman, Donnelly and Vincent. So Andy wasn't happy to sit there in behind them at the moment, Steve, and we're 23 into 100, and Andy Barber wants to lead this motor race.
Yeah, and he's doing exactly that at the moment, holding that lead down from Gary Wellman and then Troy Donnelly. And then we've got Rick Vincent, Shane Roffey, Craig Roffey, Tony Roffey, and then we've got Matty Raymond. So Ratty May sitting in there right in behind the Roffies, and he's in a pretty good position along with Tristan Kosh and Scott McClintock.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Andy Barber at the moment at the front, but we're having a look at the moment. Not sure who that is. That might be Scotty McClintock.
Scott McClintock, yeah, and he's actually side by side at the moment with Ratty May or Matthew Raymond.
Have a look at these SRM guys, though, Steve. They are very talented oval racers. So they're sitting back there at the moment. They're just managing their race, 25 into 100. So we're only quarter way into this race here for the Oz Oval Series, brought to you by Quadzi Esports and the Everything Simulated. So a long way to go. There is nothing for them to gain at the moment by trying to race a little bit hard. The guys at the front have raced hard. We've seen 3 cautions at the moment. They've made their way through that. And we see right now, Noddy Tompkins and Matty Raymond, they're just managing their race and getting themselves into the race at the moment. 26 into 100, long way to go. At the moment, I don't think the low line's the way, but you can see the draft. But Phil Butler in an incident at the moment as we go back to the replay.
So we've got, Phil Butler, shot of him in the pits there at the moment. So what's caused that, I'm not quite sure. But we've got some beautiful pictures out of the front of Noddy Tompkins' car. And Noddy sitting in 9th at the moment, alongside his teammate Matt Raymond. And they're sitting in behind Tony Roffey and Scott McClintock. So there's a lot of positional changing here, Aidan, because they're swapping back and forward, racing side by side. And the 2 SRM cars doing a beautiful job there at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. They're doing a great job there on the outside. Scotty McClintock and Matty Ray and Noddy Tompkins, they're doing a great job on the outside at the moment. They're going to work together. We're only 28 into 100. It is Barber leading well, Donnelly and Vincent at the front. It is a very high-paced race at the moment. It seems like it's calmed down from having the first 3 cautions here at Chicagoland. Interesting race. It'll be interesting to see how the boys want to play this out, right? So we do have a lot of draft and everything that goes along with it, but we have tyre wear as well. But at the moment, the guys are doing a great job going down the back straight. And the SRM guys, I tell you what here, Steve, don't write them off. They are doing a great job. But if we go back to the front, Gary Wellman, Andy Barber and Cade Donnelly, right at the front of the race. You can see Andy Barber down there on the inside of the track trying to make a run, or he's just probably dropping back at the moment now. So he was leading the race just a couple of laps ago. He's just dropping himself back there and just getting his car ready to come up and through those green flag pit stops and race up. You'll see him just hopefully drag up onto the... No, he's wanting to keep on the inside line, which is very interesting there from Andy. He's got the Rogue Esports guys on the outside. SRM coming in behind him as well. So Andy, you want to drop up into that outside line as you see him there, and he's just going to want to settle in. But the SRM guys, yes, he's through the mid-line. But you can see the difference, isn't the difference with the slipstream there, so Steve. So Andy leading the race just a couple of laps ago. It's so easy to go backwards, and you sort of want to utilise the guys around you. But the problem is, unless you have teammates around you, no one wants to help you, so you're going to be left out to dry. So we'll see how he goes. But Andy Barber still there on the outside in 7th position, and it is Wellman, Donnelly and Vincent, your 3.
What I'm actually happy to be looking at the moment is the boys have settled down and got some really good racing going as we hit lap 31 of 100. And we're going to take a quick ad break while we're on some good clean racing at the moment. So stick around, we'll be back in just a moment with round 8 of the Oz Oval V8 Supercars Oval Racing Series, brought to you by Everything Simulated.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Welcome back to round 8 of the Oz Oval V8 Supercars Oval Racing Series from Chicagoland. And we have a great race going at the moment. And good day to the socials. We've got Smith Racing XL number 92 in there shouting on, cheering on for the Valve boys, the Valve Esports Everything Simulated team. And a bit of word from Peter Matson, 23 minutes of repairs is what he ended up with out of that. So an absolute shame for Peter Matson. I said that he'll be shattered over that, and that's exactly what he said he feels. But at the moment, we've got some really interesting stuff happening. We've got Christopher Melton, his first round in the series in the number 49 Mustang, and he's side by side with Rick Vincent at the moment, battling for the lead. And Noddy Tompkins, Gary Wellman, Kate Donnelly, Shane Roffey, Scott McClintock, Craig Roffey, Matty Raymond, and Tony Roffey. That rounds out your top 10. And it's good to see that they've settled down now as we go to lap 41 of 100, Aidan.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And that outside line looks like it's working really, really well as you see the guys there on the outside trying to navigate their way around. It's a little bit of a risk for reward here at Chicagoland. You can get a really good lap on the inside line, but as this race moves on and your tyre wear sort of evolves, you can see they're moving their car up to the outside line and they're trying to work together to try and get their way around. And they're getting their way around Noddy Tompkins at the moment. We've got Vincent, Melton and Wellman now trying to get around Noddy Tompkins. So you'll see probably Gary Wellman navigate his way around Tompkins. Tompkins pretty much in no man's land at the moment. And don't be surprised to see him go backwards in the next couple of laps. Not backwards a lot, but just probably get a little bit tight as the guys try and work their way around. But Vincent, Melton, Wellman on the outside. Kate Donnelly back in this as well. And Roffey. Have a look at the Roffies. We've got Shane Roffey and Craig Roffey there in 6th and 7th. Scotty McClintock, as we spoke about earlier as well. He's there as well. Don't bite off Mr. Sheen. Matty Raymond there in the SRM car on the outside. We're only 44 into 100. I'm getting excited, but we're not even halfway now. So we're about to find out who's going to win round number 8. But a long way to go. Vincent, Melton and Tompkins as we get nearly a bit of contact there down through the tri-oval here at Chicagoland for round number 8.
And obviously that's Melton down on the inside line now. That outside line, very competitive, as a lot of the guys seem to be preferring that line for a bit of speed. And of course you've got the downforce up high because so many cars are on that higher line towards the outside. So there's a lot more downforce up there, a lot more... what's the word I'm looking for? The aero works a whole lot better because you're able to take advantage of the cars in front of you. And Melton is not really suffering on that low line, but at the same time, Noddy Tompkins saw the error of his ways and he's actually moved up there. Now Melton's actually done the same in that number 49 Mustang.
100%, mate. Let's go on board with maybe Melton at the moment. Have a look at his... he'll change gear, I'd suggest, as he goes into turn number 1 and 2. So he'll go up... Oh no, he's going to stay in 5th. So he's using a lot of fuel at the moment. So Melton at the moment staying in 5th. Great strategy. It's fast, but is it going to get him the win? So I'd probably, if it was me, be selecting 6th and try and then drop back to 5th. So that's interesting to see here around Chicagoland as you see Vincent on the outside of him doing a great job. Noddy Tompkins doing a great job as well on the outside. So interesting to see there, Steve, that Melton didn't select 6th at all. So he's using a lot more fuel. So it could be a little bit of a strategy here where he might get caught out if we do go green because he'll be using a lot of fuel there.
And I notice on the drive-by there on that camera shot that Phil Butler's rejoined the field. But yeah, look, Melton, he's only using 5th gear at the moment. I can guarantee that Noddy Tompkins, Gary Wellman and Kate Donnelly and the guys behind them, they'll be in 6th gear. Because
Let's have a look at that, Steve. Sorry to cut you off. Let's have a look at that and I'll get you to commentate through that.
Well, my thinking is because they're in the draft. That's the word I was looking for before and I couldn't find it in my head. But, yeah, in the draft, 5th gear, all it's going to do is absolutely rev its head off. And 6th gear is what you need to be if you're in the draft. Melton not being in the draft is giving it a chance to actually be quite quick. It sounds odd, it sounds really strange and a stupid thing to do, but if you're out there on your own, 5th gear is actually very, very quick around these 1.5 milers in a V8 supercar.
100%, but it's the less time that you need to spend through pit lane if we do go green. So to give you an example, if anyone's watching or the people watching, let's go on board with Noddy Tompkins and have a look and see what gears he's selecting and see what he's doing. So at the moment he's 5th gear as he comes out of 3 and 4. Does he select 6th gear and try and save some fuel? No, he doesn't. They're all just holding 5th. So it's status quo. So everything I said is incorrect. They are just holding 5th and pinging it. So there's no fuel saving here for round number 8 of the Everything Simulated series. They are 5th gear. They are sending it, and it's Melton, Tompkins, Vincent, Wellman and Donnelly of 5 as we're on board now with Roffey going out of... Oh, we've got a Roffey coming into pit lane.
Rick Vincent in the number 94 car.
Oh, Vincent's in early.
Yeah, he's come in early, but so is Derek Jacobs in the number 27. So one of our US competitors into the pits. That will probably be fuel, would be my guess, Aidan.
So, mate, and Derek Jacobs, our podium getter from 2 rounds ago as well, out of the United States of America. So he's come into pit lane, 52 into 100. He's thought, all right, now it's my time to go. As there's another one coming through pit lane, as you see all the guys coming through and going past, but it's still Melton doing a great job at the front of this motor race. He's now got a little gap, 6/10 of a second over Wellman, Tompkins and Donnelly, Steve.
And I see Tompkins still preferring that that low line, and then he goes mid-track as they come around through there. The low line he'll drop to the inside lane again down low, and then he'll move back up to the mid-line because he can't really go any further. He's pretty much side-by-side with Kate Donnelly in the number 41 Simboys Mustang, as we get some great pictures out the back of, I think that's Wellman's car. and you can see Shane Roffey in the orange Mustang in behind him, Craig Roffey in behind him. And so we've still got a hell of a battle here, and we've only just passed the halfway mark, Aidan.
Yeah, 100%, mate. But Melton's absolutely got a clean set of heels at the front at the moment. 0.8 of a second over the field in such a draft-dependent car around these ovals. So Melton completely out in front at the moment. There you go. There's Melton that goes through. But these marauding hordes at the back, Wellman, Donnelly, Roffey, Tompkins, and Raymond. Don't be surprised when we see them drag themselves up on the back, but at the moment, Melton's showing a clean set of heels, and he keeps extending that lead at the front, now nearly out to a second over Wellman, Donnelly and Roffey as we're 55 into 100.
Yeah, there's probably a fair bit of cat and mouse in this. I'd say that the Sim Boys and the Roffeys in the Rogue Sports cars are pretty much doing a little bit of fuel saving there at the moment. And with about 44 laps still to run in this, I think they're quite happy to just run this way at the moment. And they're not too bothered by that gap that Melton appears to be opening. They know he's going to have to pit for fuel at some stage soon. And the boys have got 3 sets of tyres up their sleeve. So anybody who's not actually changed tyres yet still got 2 sets up their sleeve, eh?
Yeah, correct. But if we go back and have a look at the graphics that Kobe just put up before with the last time that they pit and when they were meant to pit, if we look at Melton, pitted last time on lap 43, so Wellman, Donnelly and Roffey as well, only 1 lap behind. So at the moment, 1 second in front and increasing that gap. These guys need to move forward a little bit, because if we go green until we go to the end, it's not going to be much different with the fuel at the moment. So we'll see how we go. These guys are trying to make their way up, but you can see that gap is continually increasing. It's now just got back a little bit. So through this tyre stint, it looks like these guys are slowly gaining it back. But then as we see coming out of turn number 1 and 2, back to 1.2 seconds. So for Melton, this is very, very crucial for his race, because these Sim Boys are going to work together, especially with the Roffey guys, once they come through. And we've got pit lane now. So they're going and they're blinking early, Steve.
Yep, no, they've absolutely decided this is the time to go. Chris Melton, on the other hand, is continuing on. So I don't know what his secret is. He must be just about on fumes out there at the moment in the number 49 Mustang. And not everybody came in, but we've got a few come in. We've got Gary Wellman and Kate Donnelly. There's Melton still out on track, but I expect to see him come in the next couple of laps. He actually pitted a lap before everybody else did last time. So this is going to be very crucial, as you said, for his race. We see Andy Barber in the number 20 Creekwater Whiskey car, and that's also coming into the pits now. And will the boys take tyres? It'll probably be very advisable if they've got a couple of sets up their sleeve.
100% they'll take tyres, mate. That's a no-brainer. They'll take tyres as we keep going. But you can see Melton on your screen. Expect him to come into pit lane this time. And you can see him there going down on the apron into pit lane. So the cars behind are a lap behind. We'll see whether he gets through nice and cleanly. Great entry into pit lane, your race leader, Melton. We'll see where he comes out when he comes out of the pit lane. But at the moment, you can see there Cade Donnelly and Gary Wellman, who were up at the front of this race and fighting for the lead over Melton. So we'll see where Melton comes in, or comes out rather, when he comes out of the pits. So Donnelly and Wellman across the start-finish line, and no idea who that is. We can see an SRM car. That might have been Matty Ray in the background, but we need to see where the car's coming out, where Melton's coming out, as opposed to the leaders, as Gary Wellman is, Craig Roffey, is going through there. So, well, would have been really, really good to see where the leader came out of the pit lane, but
well, that's obviously Craig Roffey, and he's taken Shane Roffey with him, and one of the Everything Simulated cars. Actually, no, I think it's Scott McClintock who's actually come in behind them, and that's actually where Melton is actually out on track at the moment in the number 49 Mustang.
Interesting here, though, Steve. There's a lot of pit strategies at the moment as we're on board with Melton. We just thought that he would try and come out in front. So Andy Barber, we saw that pitted a couple of laps earlier. He's now trying to make the move on the outside here of Melton, your early race leader. So strategies working really, really differently at the moment. And Andy Barber getting the job done on the outside there of Melton, your early race leader. But Melton not trying to give it up easily as we go 3-4 wide through number 3 and 4 here at Chicagoland. But Andy Barber, the beneficiary there, and gets the job done on Melton.
And the most nervous man on track at the moment, right through all that, would have been Paul Hardrady in that carbon fibre car, the 129. And that's him on screen there at the moment, running 4 wide around through that turn. And that just shows the width and availability of racing room here at Chicagoland.
Yeah, definitely. 3-4 wide racing here at Chicagoland is definitely able to be done, but it depends who you got racing around you. But Andy Barber, he's done a great job tonight. He was back there in the standings and he's made his way forward. So he's now in front of your early leader. Matthew Raymond still hasn't gone through pit lane, I'd suggest, because he's in P number 1. I'm not sure whether he has gone through pit lane, but I would suggest he hasn't. Donnelly into the second position and Wellman. So I'm not sure, did Matty Ray go through pit lane there?
I've not seen him actually pit at this point. He was behind Shane and Craig Roffey when they pitted, and he inherited the lead from them. So I'm guessing that no, I've not seen him pit. And
Actually,
I don't.
He has.
He has? Okay.
Yeah, he has. So he's good to go. So SRM up into P number 3, Craig Roffey into 4th, Barber in 5th. The big loser in this is Melton, your leader. He's back into 6th position at the moment. So Donnelly, Wellman and Raymond, your top 3. Is it no surprise to see the Sim boys at the front of this field? But I tell you what, the SRM, Mr. Sheen of Matthew Raymond in P number 3. Craig Roffey there in the background as well. Craig Roffey, he bloody does a great job in these cars, and he's won a lot of races, so don't be surprised that he gets the win in this. But with 66 into 100, Andy Barber will be there, 2 seconds behind at the moment, but we've still got more pit stops to go. Jamie Nankervis there just outside the 8 with Paul Drady as well, or in the 8 with Paul Drady as well. So these guys, have a look at the pack in behind the 4 leaders. They're going to want to work together and make their way up into the front with 67 into 100 here for round number 8 of the Quasi Esports Oz Oval Series, brought to you by Everything Simulated. It is Kay Donnelly, Wellman, Matthew Raymond and Craig Roffey, your top 4. But this pack in behind, can they work together? Barber, Melton, Drady, Nankervis to try and gain anything with only 33 laps to go?
Well, at the moment, 3 of them seem to have been lining up. I mean, you've got Melton sitting in behind there, but it's a little bit staggered. Paul Drady holding that inside line down low. But you've got Barber, Melton, and I believe that's Jamie Nankervis in behind him. So the 3 of them sort of working together, but Melton continues to drop to the midline when they come through these turns. And Nankervis has taken advantage of that. Barber's now dropped down low in front of Melton, and Drady's gone back up to the midline on track.
Yeah, it's whether they want to work together at the moment. It's a little bit of a de-measuring contest. Do they want to work together or not? Jamie Nankervis will want to work with Andy Barber, as you can see there on the outside line, and try and push himself past Melton. Melton on the inside really, really wants to fight for this position, but at the moment of this race, this is not the time to fight. This is the lead of the motor race. You need to catch them. To finish first you must finish in front of them. So fighting for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th is not the way to go at the moment, but they're doing that. And we can see Donnelly, Wellman, Raymond and Roffey here, your 4th. Here we go. If the boys can actually work together at the moment and try and get their way up. So if Jamie can just stay in behind Andy Barber and push him, I don't think that Melton wants a bar of this. He's going to stay on the inside. So if the boys stay on the outside and just push their way around, they might be able to get up to the front of the grid. But at the moment, see, you can see that on your tower. See how much it drops when they do stay in behind each other. It's gone back to 2.1. Now you'll watch it drop when they go into 3 and 4. But if they don't work together, it's not going to happen, Steve. So at the moment, it's probably a little bit of a stale point with Melton on the inside there. If Melton would just jump up, if he got the opportunity, and to be able to help him, they'd be able to gain some positions. But at the moment, Wellman, Donnelly, Raymond and Roffey at the front, they are gone 2.0 seconds in front of the leaders, 72 into 100.
Yeah, look, I agree with you completely, because it's something else you've got to look at. What's been going on this whole time, that those four guys seem to be battling each other rather than trying to work together and catch that front pack. This has been pulling Rick Vincent back into this, and now he's all over the back of Paul Drady at the rear of this little combo of four cars. He's actually sitting a fifth car in that little pack. Then there's a break back to the next pack. So all that's doing really is dragging the other cars behind them, as Paul Drady seems to get a little bit loose there. And that's just doing Rick Vincent all sorts of favours at the moment. I know there's not a huge gap forward to the front 4 or 5, but the simple fact of the matter is they should be closing the gap, not battling each other. And they just don't appear to be working. They seem to drop in line, and then all of a sudden somebody drops down low or goes up high again. So they're not really working together. They're just running in a pack.
Yeah, you can see vividly on your screens it's Melton that's not working. To be honest, you've got Andy Barber and Jamie Nankervis. They're no newbies. They know what needs to be done, and they're trying to work. But Melton's trying to hold on to his position, but all he's doing is trying to hinder himself actually on trying to gain up onto the front. So Andy Barber, he's trying to err on the side of caution. Jamie Nankervis in behind him as well. He knows what Andy does, and he's just trying to help him. But at the moment, unless Melton just drops up and goes, push me and get me up there, they're not going to be able to catch the leaders. But at the moment, you can see it's now dropped half a second. So we're down to 1.5 seconds to the leaders, 1.2, 1.1. It's dropping very, very drastically here, Steve. So even though I say here right now, Melton didn't want to have a bar of it, they're catching the leaders, and we're now nearly under a second with 24 laps to go. And we've got Barber, Nankervis, Drady and Vincent catching the leaders of Wellman, Donnelly, Raymond and Roffey.
Yeah, and the 966 car, I think that might be Jared Williams. I'm not completely sure. I know it's actually Steve Lefebvre with the Everything Simulated team, and he's obviously a few laps down at the moment. And so he's just trying to keep out of the way and run his own race. But they give him the blow-by and off they go. And so we actually end up with about a pack of about 8 or 9 cars here at the moment now, since they have managed to catch up with those leaders.
Yeah, 100%, mate. It's we didn't think they were going to catch up, but they have done, as we're on board with the Everything Simulated 966 of Lefebvre or whatever. I can't pronounce that. I'm so sorry, Scott. But back to the lead, Gary Wellman, Cade Donnelly, Matthew Raymond up in the top 3. Craig Roffey there. He's a ways there. Thereabouts. Melton, the one that was leading early, he wants to go back to the front, and he's trying to make a run up on the inside line inside Gary Wellman into turn number 3 and 4, and he's going to make that pass. It looks like into 3 and 4 into 4th position. He wants to make a second pass over Matthew Raymond. Matty Ray there on the outside. He's going to hold tight on the outside. But I tell you what, Melton trying to get the job done. He might go to the lead of this motor race as he's behind Cade Donnelly and Gary Wellman. He gets the job done there on Matthew Raymond. He's going to come up a little bit high there on Cade Donnelly. Are we going to go 3 wide into turn number 3 and 4? Is Melton going to make it 3 wide? No, he's not. But he's got a lot of pace, and he wants to get the job done as he stays in behind Gary Wellman and Cade Donnelly here, lap 79 of 100 at Chicagoland, Steve.
Yeah, we're about to click over lap 80, so we're looking at about 20, 21 laps to go in this one. There are 2 green-white checkers at the end. We're hoping, obviously, we don't need them. It'd be great to see a normal finish where we don't actually require the green-white checkers, but a hell of a battle here going at the front. And Melton's actually moved in behind Kate Donnelly now on that low line, and a little bit of a gap between Gary Wellman and Matty Raymond there at the moment, just a 1.5 to 2 car lengths. There seems to be maintaining it, but Matty Hunter closing in on that at the moment. Melton maintaining that spot down the low line behind Kate Donnelly as Donnelly gets his nose in front, and Melton's trying to go with him and take that spot away from Gary Wellman. As soon as that happens, I think we're going to see Melton move around Kate Donnelly, depending on where Donnelly positions the vehicle, will probably dictate where Melton goes high or low.
Yeah, 100%. Melton's just trying to navigate his way around at the moment. He's sandwiched in between the Sim Boys and their SRM, so he's got a lot of pace at the moment. It looks like he's trying to just poke his nose out there, but 19 laps to go. There's probably another pit stop I'd suggest that they need to do. I'm not sure whether they can get to the end, but Melton has shown a lot of pace early in this one. But on the outside there, third back, tell you what, Matthew Raymond, Mr. Sheen, don't write him off. He'll be there or thereabouts when we come to the back end of this race. Craig Roffey as well, one of the leaders of the championship, he'll be there as well. And Andy Barber, Whiskey Business, don't write off the Barbie, he'll be there as well on the back end as well. So 18 laps to go, long way to go. But let's go to a bit of the sponsors. Let's have a little bit of a look at some of the sponsors before we bring you the back end of this race, so me and Steve can go and get a little bit of a breath. 18 laps to go. Let's go have a little bit of sponsors here for everything simulated for the Quasi Esports Oval Series.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like Simrigs and Track Racer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
We're back here for round number 8 of the Everything Simulated Oz Oval Series. We just had a little bit of a deep breath because we needed to, Steve, because we're 14 laps left to go here, and I think our voice boxes are about to get really, really excited as we see Melton, Donnelly, and Wellman and Raymond in your top 4. Have a look at this at the top of the point here at round number 8. But we needed a little bit of breath because I reckon this is going to heat up really, really quickly.
Yeah, look, we had a messy start with the 3 early cautions and all that, but then the boys settled down a bit and we've had some fantastic racing since then. We've had 3 wide, we've had 4 wide, and it's been great competition all the way through the field. Good day to Brent in the socials. How are you out there? Thanks for your good comments on the broadcast. And great to have you on board watching us this evening in the Everything Simulated Inside Lane Productions presented Oz Oval V8 Supercars Oval Racing Series as we continue to watch Christopher Melton at the front, leading Kate Donnelly, Gary Wellman, Matthew Raymond, Craig Roffey and Andy Barber. That's your front five, and the racing has just been fantastic here at the moment. Yes, I believe the comment was made we should probably be seeing another pit stop. I don't think the boys have got 12 laps worth of fuel in the cars. I could be wrong. But I think the only reason they actually got 42 to 44 laps out of them before, Aiden, was the fact that they'd had a couple of cautions early and were able to do a couple of splash and dashes.
100%, mate. 100%. I reckon we've got to see another pit stop, I'd suggest. Not sure on that, but Melton, I tell you what, Melton at the front in the 49, he's shown a lot of car pace at the moment. We've got a lap car there in front. Hopefully he's going to get out of the way, but Melton's shown a lot of pace. So we'll see what happens with the pit strategy. If they do need to pit, we don't have that, unfortunately, viewers, to be able to tell you whether they do need to pit with the fuel. But we did have some early cautions, as you did suggest, as Cade Donnelly there on the outside tries to make the move on Melton. But I'd strongly suggest, as you said, Steve, they're going to have to come in for a splash and dash. There's no way they're going to get to the end, in my suggestion.
I don't think so. And my hat goes off to Troy Turner there in the number 46 car, the lap vehicle, keeping out of the way and just letting the boys race around him. He's obviously not had the race he would have preferred to have, but he's getting the job done out there. He's sticking it out, and he'll see this one through with 9 laps to go.
Yeah, and if they do need, and good job there by Turner, but if they do need to pit right now with 9 laps to go, they need to position themselves into a good position to be able to come down pit lane. So,
well, it's
being
about
on the
they're all going to
outside,
start to second guess each other. Who's going to pit? Who's going to blink first? Is
well,
pretty much what some of them are
at the end of the
thinking.
day, Steve, you can only pit when you've got enough fuel, right? So you need to come down when you've got the fuel. So Cade Donnelly on the outside. So if he needed to pit now, he couldn't get into pit lane because Melton on the inside wouldn't allow it. But Cade Donnelly now down on the draft with Gary Wellman, Matthew Raymond, Matty Ray, Mr. Sheen, the one that I said look out for in 4th position. Look out for Noddy as well, back there in the 7th position. Andy Barber in the whiskey business. The cream comes to the top, and with 7 laps to go here at Chicagoland. And have a look at this one, Steve.
Yeah, fantastic stuff there. The boys racing hard around the outside. Matty Raymond is just absolutely relentless here tonight. He's just sticking with the back of these front 3 or 4 cars and not letting him get away. And his teammate down the inside, gone from 10th up to 5th place at the moment. That's Noddy Tompkins.
Yeah, Noddy Tompkins doing a great job tonight. With 6 to go, I hope they don't need to pit because this will be a great finish as you see Andy Barber in the background. And Jamie Nankervis doing a great job as well in the 8th position. We got Roffey, your championship leader, I believe he is. And this is great racing. The cream comes to the top. With 6 laps to go, anyone can win. Melton's shown the pace all night tonight. He's led it. He deserves to win it. But I tell you what, none of these guys are going to let him have it easy as we go through turn number 1 and 2 at Chicagoland. And Wellman down the back straight. He's going to help Cade Donnelly on the outside there. Is Raymond going to go around the outside? We don't know. Who's going to work with who? Looks like Roffey in behind as well, trying to work. Noddy Tompkins on the inside as well. 5 laps to go, and we're going to decide round 8 of the Everything Simulated Quadzi Esports Oval Series here. And, mate, I'm excited. Can you tell in my voice? 4 laps to go. But I tell you what, Melton has done a great job tonight. Is he going to be able to hold on?
Yeah, I think he's going to hang on to this at the moment. I mean, how this is going to go down to the wire, and that's exactly what's going to happen. As long as they can keep it green, this is going to go all the way to the finish. Gary Wellman leads the series at the moment. Craig Roffey sits about 12 or 15 points behind him in the championship. And they are nose to tail now on the outside line as Matty Hunter decides to move down onto that low line behind Melton. So he's actually making his move now, Matty Hunter.
Matty Raymond there on the inside. He's
Matty Raymond, sorry.
Yeah, he's just trying to set himself up. So watch the Sim boys on the outside. They've got this at the moment with 3 laps to go. I told you this earlier in the broadcast. With the way that this track runs, mid to high line, it might look like that they get a bit of a run on the entry. As you can see, Melton trying to make a run down the outside, but you'll see the Sim boys, as they get off the exit, they'll get a good run. But this is where it all comes down. 2 laps to go. We're going to go white flag next time around. And Melton and Donnelly decides, I'm going to cover you off. So Melton goes, I'm going to come up and try and help you. And no. And the Sim boys on the outside. So we're white flag here. And who's it going to be? Is it Cade Donnelly?
Melton contacts with Cade Donnelly.
Oh, we're going to go green-white checker.
We're on the final lap. I think that might be it. We are not going green-white checker at the moment. We're not under caution. We're still racing, aren't we?
Yeah, I thought that would have been green-white checker, but it looks like Gary Wellman, Melton and Raymond. Matty Ray. Is Matty Ray going to get the run off the end of the straight? Matthew Raymond around the outside. Matty Ray from SRM.
Melton's the big loser out of that.
No.
So Wellman will actually take the win. Matt Raymond will come home second after driving a beautiful race and being so patient, just keeping it in that top 5 or 6, or 3 to 6. And look, fantastic stuff from all those guys. And Melton will pick up, I think, 3rd place on that one after being such a strong contender for the win.
Yeah, what a great job there by Gary Wellman. But I tell you what, unfortunate for those guys at the front. I probably thought there should have been a caution there, but Gazza will be happy with that one.
I actually expected there to be a caution, but because we're on the final lap, it was the white flag lap, iRacing has decided that we're going for it. And that's exactly what's happened. So we see Gary Wellman doing the winner's burnout there at the moment.
Yeah, good job by Gary there, coming in P number 1. That actually extends his championship lead. So doing a great job, and he knows how to navigate these cars around these type of tracks. So great job. But what racing, Steve? It was great racing tonight. We had a couple of cautions early, but after that, it was great racing.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate about that little finish there for Cade Donnelly, just getting a little bit of a tap and getting loose. A little bit of a tap from Melton as he tried to follow Cade Donnelly through, but he got loose in there and actually, funnily enough, ended up into the wall and in front of Craig Roffey, who is sitting second in the championship behind Gary Wellman, who's won this.
Yeah, 100%, mate. But we'll bring the boys up into the broadcast booth very, very shortly, and you can have a chat to everyone. But here's the results. First position and the winner tonight, Gary Wellman. Matthew Raven, Mr. Sheen in second position. Christopher Melton in third. Andy J. Barber, Mr. Andy. Great job for him in fourth position tonight. Paul Drady in fifth. Craig Roffey, Shane Roffey, sixth and seventh. Jamie Nankervis in eighth. And Scott McClintock and Tony Roffey, your 10, Steve.
Yep, no, great stuff. Cade Donnelly in 11th. Jared Williams, Tristan Koch 13th. Shannon Wright 14th. Noddy Tompkins eventually brought it home 15th, so I'm not sure what happened to Noddy at the end there. Troy Turner in 16th, a lap down. Troy Mortensen 17th, Scott Lefevre 18th, Troy Davidson 19th, and Rick Vincent, after such a strong early run, finished a lap down in 20th. Derek Jacobs 21st, Philip Butler 22nd, Alex Schmidt 23rd, Brett Campbell 24th, who had an early out, Todd Maxfield 25th, James Oliver 26th, and Peter Matson rounding out the field there in 27th after that horrible incident that had absolutely nothing to do with him and ended his race.
Yeah, unfortunately there, and I can see a couple of comments on Discord, which a couple of gentlemen are not really happy at the moment. So I reckon there was a lot of heated stuff there through the race, but at the moment, your winner, Gary Wellman, here for round number 8 at Chicagoland for the Everything Simulated Quasi Esports Oz Oval Series, and yeah, hopefully we'll go through to some ads at the moment, and when we come back, we'll talk to your top 3 place getters here for round number 8.
You went, you served, and forged the relationships that only being baptized in the fire of combat can develop. At FallInVeteran.com, we understand the unique bond that veterans share. That's why we've created a platform where you can connect, share experiences, and build lifelong friendships with fellow veterans. Signing up is easy. Simply visit www.fall-in-veteran.com and create your profile. Customize it to reflect your military service, interests, and hobbies. FallInVeteran.com is more than just an online community. It's a support network where you can find resources, advice, and encouragement from those who understand what you've been through. Whether you're looking for camaraderie, mentorship, or simply a place to share your stories, FallInVeteran.com has it all. Join thousands of veterans who have already found their tribe and start connecting today. FallInVeteran.com. Come join us and experience the power of community. Sign up now at www.fall-in-veteran.com.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Welcome back to round 8 of the Everything Simulated Oz Oval V8 Supercars Ovals Racing Series, brought to you by Inside Lane Productions and streaming exclusively through YouTube. And we have our first and second place getters in the booth with us. We don't have Christopher Melton, unfortunately, at this point. He hasn't shown up in Discord. So we will go with what we have. And second place is number 80 from the SRM team, Matthew Raymond. Good evening and welcome to the booth. How are you?
G'day, Steve-o. How are you, mate? It's weird hearing number 80 next to your name. No, I've got to be honest there.
Yeah, unfortunately can't do much about that. But look, you started 23rd and you finished second. You've driven a hell of a race, mate. Nice and clean and tidy, mostly through the closing stages there as well. Led a couple of laps. Give us your impressions on how things went from your point of view.
Yeah, just as you said, really, just sort of took it easy, looked after the right front, because in practice I was just destroying it. So yeah, that was the main game plan, is just hold on to the rubber as long as I could. And I got fuel on one of those early yellows, so I had plenty of juice. And so I thought I'd try and stick out one more lap, and hopefully that'll keep a bit better rubber on it for me at the end. But yeah, it looks like Gaz just nipped me at the post there. So we were coming though, we were trying.
Oh, you were trying pretty hard, mate, and I thought your strategy was working pretty well for you. At one point, it seemed like you were quite happy to sit in behind. There was a couple of the rogue boys and a couple of the sim boys in front of you, and you seemed quite happy to sit in front of them. But at one point, with around about 20 laps to go, and just see what was going to eventuate in front of you, rather than force something to happen.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, all the sim boys, Gaz, and all the Rocky boys, we've been racing a lot of years together, so I was quite comfortable just sitting behind or sitting with those blokes and sort of work together rather than work against each other, and hopefully try and gap the rest of the field. But by the end there, they're all catching up, and yeah, Melton had it. I think it was Melton had a dig, and Cade looked like he was going to win it there for a bit. But yeah, like I said, I was just trying to save the rubber more than anything. Had enough fuel, and then yeah, just hoping for like a 2-lap dash at the end there, which I thought it did, but just a tiny bit short.
Yeah, what was the tyre wear like out there tonight, mate? Because it was a fairly hot part of the day, weather-wise. Did you have much of a fall off in the tyres, or the heat much of a problem with them, or?
Nowhere near as much as I assumed coming into the race, because during practice I was just destroying them. After like 30 laps, I'd get down to sort of 60% left on the right front, but I think that was more of just driving more than anything, because once I started taking care of it in the race, and I mean, it didn't really make sense to me because I was sitting in the pack right up, you know, Gaz's clacker or whoever, and that I would assume would take the air off the nose and worsen the front tyre. But when I grabbed that first set or second set, it was like 65% left on it still, which was, I was tearing that up in practice on my own. So yeah, it was a bit odd, but yeah, I was pleasantly surprised, sort of thing, when I did grab the fresh set, and I thought, oh, well, if I just hold on to it and look after that tyre, I'll be all right at the end, sort of thing.
Yeah, it was a shame. It was a bit of a messy start. We had our 3 early cautions, then everybody seemed to settle down and just get their head into what was needing to be done, and we had some fantastic racing for about the next 80 laps or so. And those green flag pit stops really turned everything on their head, didn't it?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, like, well, I think I can speak for most of the drivers in the field. We all love a green flag stop. It puts a bit of strategy, and you know, there's an additional bit of skill into getting on and off pit road quick, which I was a bit surprised there too. I sort of popped out thinking I'd be, I can't remember who it was, Melton or someone pitted a few laps before us, and I thought, oh, I'm going to have to go just one after everyone else, otherwise they'll chew me up on tyre. And yeah, I come out and I was in the front out of pit lane. I'm like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah, it confused us a little bit actually, because we didn't see you pit, and at one point we were wondering whether you had pitted or not, but then it came up that you'd pitted like 1 lap before, so you must have slipped in and out in amongst, right at the tail end of all those green flag pit stops.
Yeah, like I did get onto pit road very aggressive and pulled it up quite nice, but yeah, even I was surprised, sort of thing. I don't know if the other blokes had slightly slower stops than mine or what, but yeah, I just nailed the stop really nice. So yeah, that was good fun. Yeah.
So you got any shout outs you want to give, mate?
Yeah, of course, all the boys at HQ, all the SRM lads, Lockie and Rube and all them boys, all the US guys. We got Moondog on the car. Well, I haven't actually got it on this car, but we got Moondog looking after us this year. He does t-shirts, graphics, all that sort of thing. I've got Aussie Canna have helped me out with a bit of cash. Same thing, they do a bit of merchandise, t-shirts and caps and all that sort of thing. And then a couple of charities that we always support, the Tourette Syndrome, which Lockie is a big advocate of, and also the Alopecia Foundation, which Brenton Henderson is also a big advocate of, but he's up in the army these days, so we don't see too much of him.
Right, I was wondering what happened, because yeah, used to see a bit more of Brenton than we do these days in the various leagues, and different categories of racing and stuff, and just noticed he hadn't been around a whole lot lately.
Yeah, he's he's done all his training and whatnot, but he has told me he's getting his rig and all that up there soon, so we should see him back on the blacktop pretty soon.
Well, very quickly, I want to ask you about one thing. Over the last couple of years, Noddy Tompkins has come along in leaps and bounds. You guys been working with him specifically to try and help him with that sort of stuff?
Oh yeah, of course. Like, I mean, he doesn't get the chance to practice as much as the rest of us, sort of thing, or practice with us all the time. But any chance I get, I actually ended up staying with Noddy for a few weeks recently, and so we got a good chance to do a bit of driving and just tell him what I do and know. And it's, as you know, it's a self thing. You've got to learn all this stuff as you go. But he's been driving now for a few years, and like you say, leaps and bounds. He's really coming like a duck to water with the oval stuff.
Well, he's doing pretty well in this series, and right up until near the end there, it was actually a real contender. He was holding down a top 10 spot and stuff like that. So, unfortunately, I don't know what happened to him right at the end. He finished 15th, but he was sitting in the top 10 with not too many laps to go. Yeah. And he was actually on the inside line, you were the outside line, and he was right in the mix of it. So, but he's pulled off some pretty good finishes the last few weeks. So yeah, he's really taken like a duck to water to this series.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, this car seems to really suit him. He struggled a lot to start with the low aero stuff, like the Xfinity car and stuff like that. So anything with a big wing on it and whatnot, he seems to be really good at, and just naturally. So that could be because he does a lot of road course racing and stuff like that. So he's probably more used to those style of cars rather than what we normally drive on the ovals. So yeah, it is good to see, and he's having fun. So that's the main thing.
All right, no worries. Thanks very much. Your feelings about the current run in the series? Like next week we go to Las Vegas. We've got about 4 1.5 milers in a row. Most people probably pretty happy about that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Except for, what is it, turn 1 around that joint's bloody horrible.
Yeah. Well, turn 3 at Vegas is the one you got to watch for, because if your tyres are a little bit beyond their use-by date, that wall can certainly come up on you fast.
Yeah, and these things are a completely different animal to what I'm used to, you know. So, yeah, it's massive learning curve. Even just tonight, like the way the car would sort of get its weight transfer over the seam was just really twitchy. Like you had to be right onto it real quick. But yeah, any 1.5 of these things are good fun around. It's a giant parachute hanging off the back of them, keeps everyone racing together a bit more, and yeah, it's a bit more fun rather than just, you know, spreading out and ended up doing 100 laps on your own sort of thing.
Yeah. There was some good pack racing and going on tonight, and we actually had at one point there we were watching 4 or 5 cars and then 4 or 5 cars, and a lot of commenting on what the second pack needed to do to catch the first pack, and we thought they were going to struggle, but they seemed to catch them pretty well. Yeah. We had a couple of checkups up the front there and whatnot, but yeah, they did. Yeah, like I said, big giant wing on the back just creates a huge weight behind you, so gives everyone else a chance. But yeah, and also got a shout out to you boys for putting on the stream, putting on the league as well. Well done, it's really good fun. All right, congratulations. Thanks for talking to us, Matthew Raymond. Second place tonight, and a good haul of points in the championship, but I get the impression you're in it just for a good time more than anything else.
Yeah, I work 1 week on, 1 week off, so I can only make every second race in each series these days. So it's more just, yeah, being here for the other lads and just having a bit of fun while I'm doing it. Yeah.
No worries then. All right, thanks, Matty. Congratulations again. Second place in round 8 of the Oz Oval V8 Supercars Oval Racing Series. And I'll throw it over to Aidan to talk to our first place getter, since I've done it several times so far this season.
Yeah, well, Gary Owen, your first place getter. Good evening to you, Gaz. Well done, mate.
Yeah, cheers, Aidan. Yeah, how's you going, boys? All right?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Supercars and you and ovals, I tell you what, it definitely... there's something between you and ovals and supercars that makes you go well, because you do it a great job, mate.
Yeah, cheers, man. I don't know, this one fell into my lap a bit. I felt, Cade was pretty unlucky though. Like I was happy to sit in third and just try and keep that other green car behind me. And then, all that happened, and I was kind of, right positioned in the right spot, I guess. And then my main worry is, Matty coming up the inside. He was coming pretty quick too. So, I thought he might have had me, and I think he did too. But anyway, that's how it fell in my lap tonight.
The way the race went, in my perspective, and a very novice racer, but the way the race went, in my perspective, you guys weren't really, like, you were at the front, but you weren't right at the front. And we had a couple of cautions early on, which obviously brought everyone back to the field, and then you had to race hard, and you weren't right up there at the front. And how do you feel, like, you were at the front, I mean like the 1 and 2, but how do you feel when you were coming into the last 8 laps, when you had the driver that, I can't remember his name, that was right at the front and trying to win it, and then you were trying to win it as well? Like, how were you navigating your way through that to try and get that done the way that you did?
Yeah, I guess, I mean, through the race, obviously, you're just trying to save the car and the tyres and the fuel and all that, and then you get sort of to the end, and, if you get through that green flag stop and get a good stop in, then you can kind of, manage your position a bit. And, I don't know, that new guy, Melton, he was pretty on it tonight, so I was happy actually just to finish in third. Like I say, I don't think I had much for Cade and him. They were going to be racing pretty well, and I didn't want to do anything silly, so I was happy to stick in third as long as that other green car was behind me, like I say. So,
well, Melton, sorry to cut you off, mate. Melton had the speed all night. Andy Barber as well had some speed, and the usual guys in this series come to the front, and the fast guys come to the front, and it's always the same way. So it's all about, like, transitioning yourself and getting yourself into that position. But, mate, seriously, you're an absolute weapon. Like, you do a great job, and you're always up there in these supercars, mate. So good to see you up there in the top 3 again, once again.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, it was actually good to get a longer green run tonight, just to kind of push the tyres a bit and use a bit of strategy there with the green flag stop and whatnot. So when we pitted, we thought we might actually called it too soon, and we thought we might have been a bit short on fuel. But
well, actually, funny you said that, because we said that in the broadcast. I actually thought you did come down a bit soon. Melton come down pit lane a little bit longer, like a couple of laps later, and then we had a caution. So it's interesting in how that all played out. But mate, you're at the front for a reason, and a great job, and it was good calling, and great job for the Sim boys tonight. Really, really good to be able to watch that.
Yeah, that's it. I was sort of unlucky for a few of the boys. I think Troy got took out early, and probably, I mean, he admitted that himself, but a bit unlucky to stuff his race a bit. And again, Cade, he had the pace tonight. He was going real good, so a bit of a bugger for him too. But anyway, a win's a win, isn't it? So you got to take these ones when they fall your way.
Well, yeah, I wasn't prepared to say anything. Congrats, mate. I was leaving it with Aiden to take care of that, but look, congrats, mate. And look, that's a nice haul of points. Craig Roffey got caught up in that one at the end there, but that's unfortunate, and it'll get taken a look at in the race review. So we'll see how all that pans out. But I'm off to the 1.5s. We're in the 1.5s run now, so we've got about another 4 of them before we get to the final round at Talladega. So you'll be looking forward to the rest of those mid-length tracks.
Yeah, I do like Las Vegas. I've done okay there before, so bring that one on, and we'll see how we go.
Yeah, I think Kentucky and then Kansas, or Kansas then Kentucky. It's one or the other, and then I think we go to Nashville in the second last round.
Yeah, no, it should be good.
That should be good. Yeah. All right. Look, congratulations, mate. Look, once again, a good drive, well thought out, and some great racing there once everybody settled down a little bit after those initial early cautions, and we got a lot of great racing, and the green flag pit stops certainly mixed things up a bit. So congrats again on winning tonight, and well done to you.
Yeah, cheers, Steve. Yeah, she's been a big day, actually. I bloody ran a half marathon trail run on Mount Wellington down in Hobart today, so I'm a bit buggered. I'm pretty glad to hit the bed tonight, I reckon.
All right, no worries at all. Thanks very much for talking to us, Gary, and we are about to wrap things up. That's about it. So thanks very much for everybody joining us tonight and watching out there. Details for the series and everybody involved up on your screen at the moment. If you want to get involved in the series, a slide will come up in just a few seconds. It gives you the league ID, which is 10491. Just search for that in iRacing, and it'll find the league for you, so you can drop an application in, and we'll take a look at it from there. So thanks very much, and thanks for joining us at Chicagoland for round 8 of the Oz Oval V8 Supercars Oval Racing Series, brought to you by Everything Simulated, Inside Lane Productions, and streamed through Quasi Esports. We'll catch you next week. See ya.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.